Hey there, I'm Eliza, 34, mom to one wildly clever 6-year-old. And believe it or not, 3 weeks ago, I handed over everything I owned to my soon-to-be ex-husband. The 5-bedroom house? Gone. Both cars? His. The company we built? Signed away with one tidy pen stroke. My lawyer nearly fell out of her chair begging me not to do it, but I smiled anyway. Across the courtroom, my mother-in-law had that smug little smirk she wears like perfume. Vincent, my charming Rolex-wearing husband, looked like he'd just won a lottery drawn especially for narcissists. His shiny-haired mistress, Brit with 2 T's and too much bronzer, actually took a selfie right there in the courtroom. But 47 seconds later, that grin of Vincent's melted faster than cheap chocolate in the Houston heat. Before I tell you what happened in that moment, if stories about underestimated women quietly flipping the script speak to you, hit subscribe to Revenge Diary and stay right here with me. Because whatever you're going through, you're stronger than you think. You just might not have found your moment yet. 8 years of marriage. That's how long I spent believing I was building a life with Vincent Saunders. From outside, we looked magazine spread perfect. Colonial house in the Houston suburbs. His Porsche. My 12-year-old Honda that rattled like a maraca. Dinner parties full of crystal glasses and invisible tension. Vincent managed the money, I managed everything else. I'll handle the finances, you handle the home. He'd told me on our honeymoon like we were divvying chores. And silly in love me had nodded. Before our son arrived, I was a senior accountant. Downtown loved it, actually. Numbers make sense. People, less so. But when I got pregnant, Vincent announced, all calm authority, the baby needs you at home. I earn plenty, so I quit. Swapped spreadsheets for playdates, client meetings for messy finger paints. He never thanked me, but why would he? In Vincent's world, gratitude only flowed upward. By the time our little boy, Tyler, toddled into kindergarten, I'd started modest remote accounting jobs again. He hardly noticed. I was furniture, useful, quiet, unremarkable. Except I noticed him. Missed school plays, work calls running conveniently past bedtime, the perfume he didn't wear. The night that broke everything began like any other, until it didn't. The drawer that should have stayed locked. I was searching for Tyler's passport, rummaging through Vincent's grand oak desk. Found the passport, yes, but also a thick folder stuffed with envelopes stamped final notice in red. Loans, overdue bills, names of banks I barely recognized. My stomach dropped while my accountant brain switched on. 90 days past due, 300-something thousand owed here, 2 million over there. The empire Vincent bragged about, turns out it was built on matchsticks and bravado. I didn't cry. I documented, photographed each page, time-stamped, filed away evidence like I was auditing a ghost company. Then I put every paper right back, turned off the light, and tiptoed out. I didn't sleep a wink, but for the first time in years, I wasn't scared. I was calculating. Next morning, I called my old uni roommate, Rachel, now a bank analyst who could sniff a fake ledger a mile away. She ran checks. It was worse than I guessed, millions in ballooning debt, plus a couple of loans jointly signed by yours truly. Except I'd never touched them. Forged, clear as day. Rachel looked up, eyes soft but steady. This is fraud, Eliza. I know, I said, but I need the full map before I make a move. From that week on, the silent project began. A new account in my name only. Every paycheck slice squirreled away. $200 here, $300 there. Proof of every shady move he made. Dated, backed up, bulletproof. For 3 years, I gathered data underneath his radar. While Vincent spent nights at investor dinners, I became an expert at patience. He thought I was being meek. I was just busy collecting receipts. A year later, the perfume smell returning on his suit wasn't mine. Then came Brittany British wife-swapped for trendy IE, showing up at his mom's birthday dinner on Vincent's arm. My chair claimed like a prize trophy. His mother, Evelyn, the ice queen of River Oaks, gushed as though the prodigal son had brought home royalty. "Finally, a woman with ambition," she said, giving Brittany's fake Birkin a loving pat. "I served appetizers," Tyler whispered. "Mummy, who's that lady?" I smiled. "Nobody important, sweetheart." That was the night I stopped hurting and started plotting freedom. 6 months before the final hearing, Vincent made his big announcement at our dining table. "I want a divorce," he said, business casual voice, zero remorse. He wanted everything. The house, cars, business though, and he'd graciously allow me to keep Tyler. Because, as he kindly explained, the child would slow me down. You know that sound cartoon characters make when a fuse lights? That was my brain, except I smiled. "All right," I told him. "Send over the paperwork." He blinked. "No tears? No begging?" "Nope. Game on." The first meeting. Chrome and glass office, opposing counsel oozing money and cologne, no lawyer beside me yet by design. I needed to see exactly how they'd treat an unrepresented housewife. Vincent's shark slid a thick folder across. Comprehensive proposal for marital asset division. "Fancy talk for you get nothing." Vincent chuckled. "She doesn't need a lawyer. She's part-time." I closed the folder gently. "I'll review and respond." Their smirks said she's clueless. Their mistake. Enter Margaret Collins, a divorce attorney with silver hair and the patience of a seasoned chess master. Rachel recommended her. Margaret's office felt more homey than hostile bookshelves, the smell of strong coffee, walls of framed victories. I dumped 3 years of organized evidence on her desk. Documents, registrations, screenshots, my secret diary of deceit. She leafed through every page. Finally, she looked up and said the 4 most validating words of my adult life. "You've done your homework." Together, we built the trap. Legally, elegantly, bulletproof. Under Texas law, yep, every clause triple-checked. Whoever takes the assets also takes the debts, if it's spelled out clearly enough. Margaret proposed we tuck that little gem midway through a long, dull-looking contract. Page 47, deep enough that only a careful reader would notice, and right behind it, a waiver of independent review. He'd be told to double-check everything. He'd refuse, because of course he would. The arrogance we counted on was soon to pay dividends. For the next few months their side bombarded me. Brittany's syrupy phone call. "Woman to woman, could you hurry this along? We're trying to finalize financing." Translation, they needed the assets on paper fast. Then emails from Vincent. "Stop delaying. Don't make this ugly. Every threat documented." Margaret grinned at each new message. "He's building our defense for us." We waited, patiently. Evelyn eventually arranged a family discussion at her pristine mansion. She introduced the gathering like a CEO closing a deal. "Eliza has agreed to Vincent's fair terms." I played the partnerless laugh, hands folded. I simply wanted to understand everything before signing. Evelyn exhaled dramatically, relieved that the troublesome woman had finally come to her senses. Tyler peered from the hallway, confused. I smiled at him. "All good, sweetheart." Inside, I was already free. My new little apartment was nowhere near River Oaks' grandeur. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, smells faintly of paint and determination. That night, I laid out the gray blazer, the simple blouse, the sapphire ring from Grandma, the one sentimental item he never tried to claim. Tyler mumbled about pancakes in his sleep. I whispered, "Whatever happens tomorrow, we're going to be okay." And I meant it. January 3rd, unusually warm morning. Vincent showed up early, polished and smug. His lawyer looked almost tense. Inside courtroom 4B, the air hummed fluorescently. Brittany front row in red, Evelyn upright in Chanel, ready for my humiliation. Margaret beside me, calm as a glacier. The judge began, voice crisp. "We're here for the matter of Saunders v. Saunders." The clerk started reading the settlement, each line transferring houses, vehicles, business shares, all to Vincent. He looked delighted. Brittany squeezed his arm like a pageant date. The judge turned to me. Mrs. Saunders, do you understand you're relinquishing your property rights? Yes, Your Honor. You've reviewed this with counsel? I have. Any questions? None. Then came the waiver section. Judge. Mr. Saunders, you're waiving independent financial review? He barked a laugh. I built this company. I know what it's worth. Cue the Mont Blanc flourish. Pen lifted, contract sealed. And Gerald Hoffman, the expensive lawyer, went ghost white. Vincent Waite, page 47. Too late. Stamped. Filed. What's this nonsense? Vincent frowned, skimming the clause. The receiving party assumes full responsibility for all debts attached to said assets, Gerald whispered. Vincent's face sank. This says I'm liable for, what, 4-something million? Margaret coolly. 4.7, give or take. Brittany's voice from the seats. 4 million. Evelyn's pearls practically rattled. Vincent jumped up. This is fraud! She tricked me! Judge Dawson removed her glasses slowly, the way you do before delivering a lecture. Mr. Saunders, every debt is a matter of public record. You were advised to seek independent review. You declined. This court cannot protect you from your own arrogance. You could hear a hairpin drop. Evelyn stood up first, face pale with fury, and walked straight out. Brittany soon followed, muttering into her phone. Dad, you were right. Mascara streaking. Vincent stared at me. You destroyed me, he whispered. I answered quietly. No, Vincent. I just stopped saving you. The house sold for less than the mortgages. He still owed hundreds of thousands after foreclosure. The Porsche vanished on a tow truck at 3 a.m. His business went bankrupt within months. He moved into a one-bed apartment with thin walls and no status. Meanwhile, Tyler and I thrived. My savings and accounting chops got us a fresh start. A cozy apartment filled with plants, drawings, laughter. I went back full-time at a mid-size firm. Promotion within 6 weeks. Turns out 3 years of forensic sleuthing make you really good at auditing. Rachel brought news over coffee. Your ex just filed his first voluntary debt payment. I shrugged. Good for him. She smiled. You're really over it. Was the minute I walked out? Pause here, yeah? If you're listening while making dinner or on your commute, take a breath with me. This story isn't just about revenge. It's about the quiet years when nobody claps, when patience feels like cowardice, but is actually strategy. Maybe you're living in that silence right now, stacking your own kind of evidence, building strength in secret. Don't doubt it. The preparation is power. If you know someone who needs that reminder, share this halfway mark of Revenge Diary with them. It might be the nudge they need to keep their head down and their hope up. All right, back to the final act. Out of the blue, a text, need to talk about Tyler. Honestly, I almost deleted it, but curiosity won. We met at a cafe near Westheimer the next day. He looked smaller somehow. Same man, deflated, cactus, polo shirt, tired eyes. The Rolex? Pawned, probably. I'm not here to apologize, he said. But I've been in therapy. My counselor says I have to take accountability. I waited. I was awful to you, and worse to our son. I want to see him properly, not to win, just to try. For the first time, he meant it, or at least, he was trying to. I'll consider it, I said, but on conditions. Therapy continuation, stable job record, supervised visits until Tyler felt safe, fanned never a bad word about me, ever. He agreed. That night, journaling with a cup of tea, I wrote, Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors, and I decide who walks through. September came with sharpened pencils and optimism. Tyler started first grade. I started evening CPA classes. We'd do homework side by side, him practicing sums, me practicing tax law. Sometimes he'd quiz me. He loved winning. Work praised my detail orientation. I smiled. If only they knew my training ground was 3 years of marital espionage. By spring, I was up for partnership track. By summer, I could breathe easy. One evening, sitting on our tiny balcony, Houston lights glinting under the clouds, I realized something. Vincent wasn't born cruel. He was built by a system of men taught that control equals worth. Losing money felt like losing identity, so he doubled down, lied deeper, hurt harder. Understanding that didn't excuse him, but it did free me, because his failures were never truly about me. My own flaw had been different, mistaking silence for peace. Now I knew better. Silence is only strength when it's chosen, not coerced. So here's the truth, love. People who underestimate you are constructing their own downfall brick by arrogant brick. You don't have to knock it down. Just stand back when it collapses. These days, mornings start with Tyler bounding into the kitchen yelling, "Mom, can we have pancakes?" Every time I say yes, because freedom tastes exactly like maple syrup on a Tuesday. I'm Eliza, and this has been my story. If it stirred something in you, subscribe to Revenge Diary so more women find courage in their own calm. And please share this with that friend or sister, is biding her time quietly. She deserves to hear that patience isn't weakness, it's preparation for her moment. Because when that moment comes, oh, trust me, they'll never see it coming.